Time for recent reads. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I'm doing a recent reads for you. I will admit that this recent reads is a bit of a not so recent reads. I believe the last book I finished in this stack was I think around the end of October. Early November? Maybe early November. I don't remember. It's been a very long time. I'm reading my first book in probably a month as we speak. And yeah, it's been just been a long process. Working retail, having a new baby and everything. It's as you guys have seen with lack of content, it's just been a lot going on, and Danielle getting back into work and all that kind of stuff. So bear with us. We're trying to get caught back up here and getting some more content out for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe down below. There's Danielle's channel, the podcast, the bookstagrams, all that stuff down below. I've got 4 books here that I'm going to talk about. We'll link these 4 down below for you as well. Although one of them I don't know if you're going to really want to read. I'll talk about that one when I get to it. But yeah, otherwise don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the books. Alright, the first book up is a DNF. It's a book that I put on my TBR for November. I think it was for November. I don't remember. Maybe it was October. I can't remember. So much has been going on lately. And that is Ghost Story by Peter Straub. I couldn't do it again. I started this book. The issue I ran into this time is I got a lot further in it than I did the first time. I read a very good amount. I probably was almost 200 pages in, something like that. But the issue I was having at the beginning is it jumps around too much. And I could not keep up with anything that was going on. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it is just following the same person or group of people or whatever. But it jumps around way too much at the beginning. At least by what I remember when I was reading this and DNF'd it. Because it literally was just like too much happening. And too many different places, too many different people. I was following one story very well. And then all of a sudden we jump to something else. And I'm just like, okay, this has been just way too much. And so that's the big reason why I DNF'd it. Somewhere down the line, I might give it a third chance. However, I might just say give up on Ghost Story and just go to a different Peter Straub book. I know like the Coco series. I know there's one book called Coco. It's a couple something Thorn or Rose or something like that. There's like a trilogy of books about this one guy or something like that a lot of people really like. I do have, I think, I don't own them anymore. But I can easily find them or I can just read them myself. But yeah, no, that series I hear a lot of good things about. But for some reason, I just am not clicking with this book. And I have no idea why. Sometime down the line, I might give it a third chance. But it's not going to be anytime soon. I don't know. It just is not clicking for me. So, unfortunately, for the second time, I am DNFing Peter Straub's Ghost Story. Alright, next up is Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This is the most recent book that I have read out of all of these. So, in this book, we are following Vesper, who is somebody who left her family. I think she was 16 or 18 because they're very religious. And I'm not going to lie, I thought they were a complete different thing at the beginning of the book than what they ended up being, religious-wise. So I will leave it at that. But I definitely thought they were something else. I don't know why. But once you read this book, I don't think you'll be as confused as I was. But whatever. So we we jump ahead. I think it was a couple of years or something like that. One of her cousins, I believe it's a cousin, is getting married. And she gets invited to come back home, and then come to realize she gets there and everyone's like, who invited you? Nobody invited you, and nobody can figure out what's going on. Her parents are a little off. The mom's definitely a C word, and dad is kind of out of the picture. He was there for when she was younger and stuff like that, but he's out of the picture, and nobody can really figure out who invited her and everything like that. And as everything kind of progresses, like the person that her cousin's marrying is like an ex-lover of herself, or like a boyfriend that she used to have. It's been a while since I've read this book, but it was a very good book. I think I gave it 4 stars. Very big twists, very big religious aspects to the actual book itself. It was a really good story. It was another good one by Rachel Harrison. I think what was the first one I read by her? The Return. The Return. Yes, I gave that, I think, almost 5 stars. So it's the same thing as this one, about 4 or 5 stars. Both very solid books, and I would highly recommend this one. Danielle read it, and I think she gave it 4 or 5 stars as well. So there you have Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. Okay. So the next book I want to talk about is a small book, but my goodness, it's powerful. It is extreme horror, so make sure you read for trigger warnings, because it's very... I honestly don't even think I have a ranking for that. I don't even have a rating for this book. What was the other? Gone to See the Riverman? That was another one that was kind of like extreme in my opinion, even though I don't think it was advertised as extreme.
No, it's extreme.
I couldn't rank that. I couldn't rate that one either. So this is called No One Rides for Free by Judith Sonnet. It's a very tiny book. Like, can't even read the font of the title of the book on the spine. It's very small. Okay. How do I want to talk about this book? So we're following this woman named Jody with her 2 kids going to college. I don't know how to really talk about this book. It literally is just like it starts right away about how Jody talks about, like, oh, their dad isn't in the picture, but, like, she talks about, like, all the guys that she's, like, slept with. She does not use the term sleep with, I'll say that much. She definitely uses a lot more vulgar language. So they're driving to I think her daughter's college to drop her off. So they stop at a gas station. I have things I want to say about this book, but I really can't. Maybe we'll do a podcast episode with this book, just because there's a lot of things I would like to talk about with this, and I know Danielle gave this 5 stars. She gave Gone to See the Riverman, I think, 5 stars, or 4 or 5 stars. I don't know what
You're just not an extreme horror girly.
No, I guess I'm not. Basically what ends up happening is the woman goes into the gas station, gets horny with the one guy who's the gas attendant, and it's like, oh, when I drop off my daughter, I'll be back on Monday. Like, you better be here. Like, saying, like, oh, yeah, we're gonna do it. She gets back to the car. Kids are quiet. There's a man sitting in the back seat with a gun, holding them hostage. They keep driving down the road, and this man in the back seat is a messed up dude. He makes them do some weird things, talks about some weird things. I want, like, halfway through this book, they literally have a section that says, if you continue with this book, you, like, literally, like, can't get mad at us. Like, we literally said this is extreme horror, so be careful going forward with the rest of this book. They pick up this old lady. Oh my God, dude, I just didn't enjoy it. It was, like, brutal. Like, I enjoy a good horror story, but, like, this is, God, definitely something that's way out there. Again, what we'll probably end up doing is a podcast episode to kind of talk about this a little bit more, because Danielle really liked it. I can't even rate this book just because it's just like with Gone to See the Riverman, it's too extreme. The only difference is Gone to See the Riverman had a pretty decent story going, and then the ending just really just messed with me. I really hated it. This thing is just, she immediately just starts talking about dick. Can't stop thinking about dick. She always wants dick. She wants dick inside of her, like, any hole she can find, like, nonstop at the beginning. Like, I remember I got, like, 10 minutes in, I paused it. I'm like, Danielle, she has talked about wiener for probably 5 minutes straight. Like, nonstop. So be ready for that at the beginning if you do decide to read this book. But also, again, like I said, it is extreme horror. There are definitely trigger warnings for this book. So be wary going into this book. If that's something that's up your alley, then by all means go for it. No One Rides for Free, Judith Sonnet. So after that book that I thoroughly don't enjoy, last up is the Stephen King book that I read, and that is Everything's Eventual, 14 Dark Tales. I'm going to take out my little cheat sheet where I wrote down all my star ratings and stuff. So, in this book, we have got 14 Dark Tales. There is a couple of these that I gave 5 stars. The Man in the Black Suit, that was a very dark story. And again, that's also, I think, like a Cemetery Dance, like exclusive, like little separate book. I don't have it. I really wish I did, but whatever. The Little Sisters of Illyria, which is a prequel to the Gunslinger book. That one was actually a very solid story. I really enjoyed that one. LT's Theory of Pets. I have 5 stars written on here, and I'm not going to lie, I don't remember it all that well. But, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's about, like, this dude with, like, this, it involves pets. I don't remember it. That's the other problem I run into with the short story collections, is I will read these, rank them when I read them, and then if it's not, like, an absolute banger, I don't always remember it. LT's Theory of Pets, I gave 5 stars. So it was a banger, but for some reason I can't remember it. Whatever, moving on. 1408 and Riding the Bullet both also got 5 stars. There were a couple of stories that just kind of sucked. All That You Love Will Be Carried Away, I gave that 2 stars. The Death of Jack Hamilton, gave that 2 stars. And I think there's another one that was close to being a 2 stars. Whatever. As an overall rating, because what I'll usually do is I'll add all of them together, divide by the amount of stories, because I'm a math weirdo, and it's about 3.9 stars is what I ended up giving this book. Obviously, I'm not going to do 3.9. I'm probably going to settle on 3.5, just because I had a lot more 3s and 4s than I did anything higher. So I'm going to say probably 3.5. Again, as I said, the video we just did is the books I still have to read by Stephen King. And I mentioned in there, that's one of the problems I always have with the collections, is like some stories can be really, really good, some can really suck, and so it's like, you know, I don't know. It's hard to rank them amongst the novels because novels are one story, collections are multiple. So for me, it's a little bit harder to kind of rank them. You know, I can just go off of the star rating, but I feel like that's not fair, because in theory this is better than I don't have a book to use, but whatever. Yeah, there you have Everything's Eventual, 14 Dark Tales by Stephen King. Alright, so those are the 4 most not so recent reads that I've had. Again, I am in the middle of another King book, Bizarre Bad Dreams, and the collection so far has been really good. I'm actually really enjoying that one. These 4 we will have linked down below if you're intrigued with any of them. All kinds of different things in this grouping of books: a DNF, extreme horror, King, and a really good book. Well, whatever. So again, we'll have them linked down below. Again, down below is Danielle's channel, the podcast, Bookstagram, all that fun stuff. Let me know what you've read recently down below, preferably in the past couple of weeks, not 7 years ago. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.